Ugh, even just opening this. You can tell I like it. I didn't even put it back on correctly. That's what B-roll's for. The premise of the Night Cage is this. You've fallen into this cage and you only have a candle to guide your way, and you must collect 4 keys. Each person can only hold 1 key because of course you can. They're gigantic compared to your actual meeples. If we're working with the scale, you're lugging this key all along with you, trying to find a gate. And if all 4 of you can arrive at the same gate at the same time, or, just stay there until everybody else gets there, you are able to open the gate with your 4 keys and escape the Night Cage. If you fail and the tiles run out and you are unable to get to the gate together, you perish into unending blackness as the candle dwindles over and over. It is a tile laying game. You are going to take your little meeple and you'll move 1 space and you will illuminate the tiles around your candle. Unless, of course, you've gotten attacked by a monster in the dark and your candle has gone out. Then you must plunge yourself unknowingly into the darkness and just hope you stumble upon something that can let you out. There are various things that can pop up in the night. These sorts of things, the keepers, the pathless, the omens, you can incorporate a big old boss that will take a chunk of the Night Cage and just send it into darkness until, of course, you take 1 step in the other direction, moving your candle and therefore moving what you can see and therefore moving reality. When you return, a new tile will be drawn, and that is how you explore this map. You can just move back and forth to see if you can uncover new tiles and find the keys. And this is a game that I was really, really excited to try out. It also comes with a Dized app support, so that if you are not good at learning games through rulebooks, you can sit through this excruciating app which will repeat the same information at you over and over again until it finally sinks in. This was a game that the idea of it and how it is spoken of is exciting. It's a game about atmosphere. It's a game about a spooky environment where you are trying to uncover the horrors in the dark and strategically move along and explore and uncover the mystery before it's too late. Even just the tile holder itself, you could easily stack the tiles in just a pile and say, okay, when that tile's done, you're out. But no, they've taken the time to create an actual little candle whose wick gets lower and lower, representing your flame getting lower and lower until there are no more candles left to draw and the tiles start evaporating from the board. This sounds like a fun game, but it is just not. It isn't. It's a game that I've wanted to give another chance and try again because it is spoken of so highly, and yet I don't want to put myself or my friends through that basically boring experience that this game provided. And if I'm sounding harsh, well, that's because I feel harsh about this game. Because for me, what I really enjoy in games are generally solid mechanics or interesting, thinky decisions to make. And unfortunately, the decision-making space in this game feels way too simplistic for me to actually be interested in. That's not the draw of the game, and I perhaps mistakenly thought that that was the draw of the game, and that there was going to be an interesting puzzle here when there isn't. If you don't add any of the extra monsters or modules, most of the tiles that you're going to be drawing are just pathways. So on your turn, you move and illuminate more pathways. Or you might illuminate a monster who shoots in a straight line when you leave or when it detects any movement. That threat seems exciting that you'll have to avoid, but the map is so large that you can easily just make sure that no one else is around to get hit by the monster when you leave. And on the times where that does happen, it seems fairly simple to navigate, or you can't really do anything to navigate against them. Because whenever you draw a monster, here's one right here, look how spooky scary they are. Whenever you draw a monster, as soon as you move your person out of the way, they shoot in a straight line all in that direction and will wipe out and extinguish the light of anyone else who's in the way. And extinguishing the light is bad. You lose tiles. You also lose the ability to navigate the map. So then you are forced to go stand next to one of your compatriots who has a light, and they'll say, okay, your light's back on, and your light will turn on. As you continue to plod your way through the game, just hoping that you will turn up a space that has a key on it before you turn up a space that has a gate on it. And that's basically what it comes down to. It comes down to making sure not to waste your tiles so that the important tiles don't get accidentally discarded, and that you can find those keys before the gates come out. Or if the gate does come out, you have to have someone stand guard by the gate. There are multiple gates where you can escape, so you can let some of them disappear into darkness and know that you'll find another one again. But if you're on your last gate, you then just have to have somebody wait beside it with a light until someone else with a key gets there, and then they can go off in search of their own key. The decision-making space here, unfortunately, is just boring. And it's a game that I was going to give another shot until I kept saying that for the last 2 months, and every time I thought about it made me stressed. It made me stressed that I wasn't getting this to the table. It made me stressed that I wasn't potentially seeing this live up to its full potential. And it made me stressed that I should play it again and really try to delve in and experience all the variations of modules that it has to offer. And yet I didn't even want to do that solo. That was how poor an experience I had with the Night Cage. Now, that being said, I really tried in my last play of the Night Cage to embrace the atmosphere. And I think if you embrace the atmosphere and use this game as a vehicle to create a spooky atmosphere, I think that is how the majority of people are having a good time with this game. When I spoke in hushed tones and drew the tiles slowly, one by one, placing them with deliberate spookiness on the board, illuminating the pathways that were to arrive in front of me, all in search of the elusive key. When I spoke in a hushed tone and we all worried about the Night Cage and talked about the Night Cage enveloping us in its endless dark, admittedly, I had a good time. And so I think for those of you who have this game or who are contemplating picking it up, if you need something to help you get that spooky vehicle or set the atmosphere, or as I have seen numerous people do, especially when we were talking about this in the October Spooky Deathmatch that just happened on this channel. Depending when you're watching this, you can search it and find it. People enjoy this game because it provides that vehicle for spookiness, because you can play this by candlelight and light everyone's candles and blow out your own candle when the monsters happen to hit you and envelop yourself in an increasing darkness. There are ways to make this game fun, and I appreciate that this can do this and provide that vehicle and provide that thematic layer. However, I would argue that you could do that with a Ouija board or even a Waluigi board. I think when you, the players, have to work hard to establish the atmosphere, and it is not the actual game itself that does the establishing of said atmosphere, well, that's not a game experience that I'm interested in because I'm too lazy to set it all up. What I looked for and what I was hoping for in this game, that this game would provide me with that atmosphere, that the game mechanics itself would inform that feeling around the table for me, and that I wouldn't have to rely on outside circumstances to create that for me. And unfortunately, I didn't get that. Some other people have, and that's why I want to bring it up, because I know there are people out there who like the Night Cage, and if you do, well, I'm probably just an idiot on the internet who didn't understand the true beauty, and I love that you can continue to play this game as you have been and enjoying it. But I also felt I needed to make this review to wholeheartedly recommend nobody ever purchased this game. I just really didn't like it. And hey, I'm very grateful and thankful to Smirk and Dagger for giving me this copy to review, and I'm sorry that I had such an abysmal time with it, but I'm more sorry for me and the time that it took. It's just unfortunately that mechanically this is just too basic and relies too much on randomness for me to be fully entertained. But that being said, perhaps this could function as maybe a gateway game. I try to always look at both sides of these things. I don't like having a review that's just me slamming a game into the ground and saying how bad it is. And so I'm relying on all of you who love the game to write in the comments below why you love the game and what specific mechanics you think might appeal to certain people, and how perhaps I have gotten it all wrong and should give it another try. But at this point, I'm just not going to, and I hope you don't either. And it's too bad because the production quality of this is great. The tiles are super nice quality. The artwork, I love the sort of dark Gothic style. The art style really pulls me in. The box cover is beautiful. It's creepy. It really is creepy. The everything outside of the actual game itself is creepy and gives me the shivers, and that's great. I just wish there were a little bit more choices within the game to make it feel more like a challenge and not like you're just wandering through the random darkness. But to be fair, I suppose that's thematic. For what else would you do if you found yourself in this endless cage of night and dark with one candle? You'd probably wander around looking for the exit and hope that you can get out alive. Anyway, that's the Night Cage. Make sure to drop a comment in the comment section below. Thank you for subscribing if you haven't already. Maybe go watch another review of the Night Cage of somebody who liked it and see why. I think that's what I'm gonna do today, is really go through and watch people who give this a positive review, because for me, unfortunately, I just can't. But what I can do is thank you for sticking with me and tuning in. My name's Chris George. I don't have a catchphrase, and well, I don't have to think about this game ever again. What a good day.